And so I'm keeping everything on their own layer. I mean, I'm doing some things on the same layer, but I'm trying to separate it as much as I can. It's easy to go in and render later. Render later. Okay, so Huion has this drawing contest going on, and I thought I would join it. So, and I also have I have an idea of what I want to do with it. But before we do that, let's just go into it and take a look at what the contest is about. So it's about dreams. So I think it's like about maybe a dream you keep getting when you're sleeping, but it can also be just what your dream is, like what is your dream with life, and it can also be drawing a nightmare or something like that. I think the rules is just that it has to be your own thing. You know, you can't use some copyrighted stuff like that. But I think that's about it. Then it's pretty open for what you can do. I am planning on doing what my dream is with life. It's a dream that I know it will probably never happen, but I'll get into that. The contest is running from, or it has been running from the end of February, and it will end at the end of June. And then there's a judgment period and a win announcement. And I just also want to show you what you can win. So the first prize is a Canvas Pro 19 plus this controller thing. I don't know why they have this controller thing. I don't know if I'll be using it, but definitely the canvas thing, I would love that. It would be so nice to be able to draw on a big canvas. I'm used to my iPad, and don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for my iPad, but if I could draw on a way bigger screen, that would be awesome, because then you can, it's way healthier if you can draw with your shoulder instead of your wrist. But it's hard when you have a small canvas to draw with your shoulder. So, and there's also a second prize, that's a Canvas Pro 16, and I think 2 people are getting that, and then a Canvas Pro 13 for the 3rd place, and then a Canvas 12 for the 4th place. And then there's a lottery entry thing. I don't know why. I'm not really that interested in it. So, okay, I'm just gonna get my hair up because I can feel that it's gonna annoy me. Okay, there we go. So what I'm gonna base my drawing on is like a dream I had where I really wanted to go on a road trip in America and like just go from maybe New York to Los Angeles, you know, do the whole Route 66 thing. I know it's kind of cliche, but I think the dream has also evolved a little bit because I started to like really love the van life. At least what I see on the internet, it looks so freeing and relaxing, and just, I know it's not all just nice, and there's also annoying things sometimes, but I do really think it would be fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a quick thumbnail sketch. So it's something where we have the road and it's like curving, because I have this idea of having it look like we're driving really fast. So the van is actually a few centimeters over the ground, and I'm really gonna try and stylize it a lot because I really enjoy stylizing stuff. I think it's just way more interesting than just trying to make it look really realistic. And then there's maybe a map flying away. I think it would be nice to have the Route 66 sign as well. So I think this is gonna be the composition. I'm trying to find a balance between having it stylized but also still recognizable. You know, drawing cars is not my It's not what I've done the most, so can be a little tricky. Okay, I keep forgetting like how hands work, like compared like when you how you twist it. I sometimes I have to actually act out. So like if she's like this, the thumb is going towards her. Okay. So yeah, if you're ever struggling with finding out how hands work, just act it out and like try and see which direction they're going in and all that. It's a lifesaver. And I keep trying to keep the dynamics in mind. I really want it to be really dynamic to look at, like everything is in motion and there's just happening something everywhere, you know? If you can make your artwork or your scene look more dynamic, the more interesting it will be. I think this is a pretty good start with the sketch, and I don't think I'll go into much more detail with the sketch because then it's not a sketch anymore. I think the plan is to lower the opacity of the sketch and then do a more refined sketch. I'm not a huge line art person, so I'm not gonna make a really crisp line art thing. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to polish it up too much in the stage. Okay, so now I've just selected around the whole van, and I can just color drop, and yeah, I want it to be orange. I like orange. And after that, I'll actually just use a clipping mask, and that makes it so everything I'm drawing will just clip to the layer underneath. So if I go in now, and because I gotta give it a white roof, everything I'm drawing will, you know, stay within. So just to demonstrate, and I'm really going like almost over. I am going over the lines, and for now I'm only worrying about getting the base colors in, because I will later go in and do more shading and rendering. So yeah, I'm only worrying about the base colors for now. I'm gonna use alpha lock now because I feel like the orange actually needs to be a bit more towards the red and a bit more vibrant, so I put it on alpha lock, so now I could just color drop on the layer and it will be easy. So now to contrast the whole environment, because the environment is going to be a bit more warm. Right now I don't have the environment painted, but I know it will be like orange tones, warm tones, just like on this reference. So I want the inside of the van to be more bluish and cold tones, and I'm just gonna experiment with the colors until I find one that I feel fits. But I think that's actually pretty good. Again, it's just a base color, so I will render it more. And now, before I go on to the characters and stuff like that, I just wanna, work a little bit on the environment to get that to work. And so I'm keeping everything on their own layer. I'm doing some things on the same layer, but I'm trying to separate it as much as I can. I have an iPad that can, get a lot of layers, so it's not a big deal for me. So I would rather have all the layers really separate, so it's easy to go in and render later. So something I do to create textures that is really far away, like to kind of fake that there's a lot of detail, is that I pick a really textured brush. In this case, I'm using the Gouache Retro Scrub 1 from Max Packs. It's a really great brush pack. I would highly recommend it. And then I'm just scrubbing away. And then now we are at a point where I want to turn down the lines for the background, but not the band and the characters. So now it's coming in handy that I made the lines on separate layers. And now I'm making a multiply layer, so it's gonna make things underneath darker, but you'll still be able to see the colors and whatever you put down. But this is to make a shadow for the van. Yeah, so I took a break here, so when I got back I forgot to tap record, so I actually forgot to record a section where I worked on the characters. But yeah, anyway, here we go. So I'm not a fan of black line art or black sketch, so afterwards I actually like to go in and go to alpha lock on the layer and then choose a reddish tone. At least if it's a character, I like to use red. And then I just make my brush really big and I go over the whole thing. I just feel like it blends better into the environment when it's not just black. So for the man here, I'm gonna choose a darker skin tone, but it's not like he's darker in his skin tone, it's just because he's sitting in the car, so he's not gonna be as bright as the girl. So now I'm going into more of the rendering part, so now it's just about going in and doing the details. So I have a layer above everything else and even over the line layer, and I'm just gonna go in and render slowly because there's a few things, like there's some edges that needs sharpening, and like her lashes needs to be darker, and yeah, it's just about rendering. And now just, I think I've done maybe 5 minutes of rendering, and let's just try and turn this layer off and on and just see the difference you can get on 5 minutes. it's so crazy sometimes to like see the rendering come together. And I also try to keep in mind the environment, because the environment is gonna bounce on the object. So like I have a bluish sky, and that's gonna affect the colors on everything else. So I'm gently gonna give it some blue tones here on the top. And then lastly, you can add like some effects. I'm gonna play with motion blur on these rocks. I'm really trying to make it look like it's in motion. And then the very last thing I do is that I check if I want to have the first sketch layer on or off, or maybe have it but then erase some parts. But I think I'm just gonna turn it off. I don't think it gives anything to this piece. And I think I will call this done. I'm probably gonna wait just a few days with submitting it, because then I can. That's also a good thing. If you when you're done, instead of just posting it somewhere, just leave it for a little bit, and then you can go back to it, and then you can check on it. Like maybe there's something you missed, or maybe you'll see something that you want to change but you didn't see it before. And the thing to note is that you should really read the instructions carefully before you just start drawing, because I found out later, after I actually uploaded the artwork, that I had to have the huion logo in the work. And now I'm struggling with an artwork that will not be approved, because I went in and uploaded another file. Like it's been many days now and it's still under review. So, and I've contacted their support and I'm still waiting for some feedback and help, because it's not getting approved and I'm stressing because I just want it to be approved. And worse is that I actually found a better place for the logo after I submitted that one, so I actually want to submit it a third time. So yeah, wish me luck here. I hope I haven't screwed up my entry like completely. I'm hoping that everything is gonna go fine. I hope you got something out of this video. I normally don't do videos like this where I explain my whole process, but I have had a couple of people ask me on Instagram for a while now if I could make a tutorial on how I draw, and I think this is what comes closest to it. Hey, and if you like this, remember to hit the like button and also follow to not miss any videos like this in the future.